Greetings, it's your girl Andrea. Glad to be back. Good to be back. When I recorded my first vlog yesterday, I figured I would probably update about weekly, every week or so. And then the very first comment was a question, and I thought, why wait a week to respond to the question? And the question was from Kiani, who asked for some advice. Do you have any advice for career-oriented women who are also balancing a professional life? It seems like one always wins over. I'm paraphrasing, but I think she said something like that. And so I thought about this all day because my response is guided by some personal thoughts, philosophies, and theories and things like that. And I don't want to get into all of that in this reply, but I think it's important to say that, and then maybe we can catch up on some of that stuff in a future video. Okay, but I guess the short answer is no. I don't have any advice for you, Kiani, because I've decided that in these videos I will not give advice, but I will share my thoughts, and then hopefully you'll share your thoughts. And that's the whole thing about dialogue. Like if I just give advice, then there's no discussion, and so I'm not going to give advice, but I will share with you my thoughts on that whole concept. A little bit of background. I think it's important that you all know that I am a believer in passion-filled living. I'm a believer in purposeful living. I'm a believer in natural and divine order. I am not a believer in destiny, so I don't believe that no matter what we do, we'll always have the same results. Okay, because in my mind, like, then what's the point of living if you're always going to have the same results? What's the point of making decisions or having critical thought, right, if we're always going to have the same results? Okay, but it's important that you know that that's where I'm coming from with this. And so oftentimes when I run into individuals that are experiencing tension with concept tension, it's, for example, relationship versus personal life, or religion and spirituality versus your personal belief system, things like that. What I find is that one or both of those things are outside of your divine order, are working against your purpose. Okay, and so in order to determine which one of those things it is, it requires a little bit of work. So I would ask that you pause the video right now and go get your journal or your notebook or whatever you keep notes in, and because I'm going to kind of go through some things really quickly, and then I want you to be able to go back and look at it. Okay, so guessing you've unpaused it or you're going to watch it all the way through and then decide whether or not you want to write it in your journal. So let's keep moving. When I'm working with entrepreneurs or business owners, we often start with simple concepts, mission statements, and vision statements. What is the purpose of your business, your idea? And then based on that, we will start to look at strategic plans. What are your goals? What are your objectives? Okay? And we want to do the same thing in our personal life also, and with our professional life. We want to determine what our long-term goals and objectives are, so that we can then examine the activities that we're participating in to determine whether or not they are going to help us to reach those goals. So in your career, have you determined what it is that you want, what you're shooting for, and then are you making sure that you're working smart towards those outcomes and not just hard towards those outcomes? When we work really hard and we're like a hamster on a hamster wheel, working hard but not really getting anywhere, we're not pleasant people to be around. Trust me, I know. I'm not a pleasant person to be around when I'm working outside of my order, when I'm working outside of my purpose. And so that can cause tension on a relationship if we are stressed and drained, because then we are going to drain those around us. Okay? And so an activity that I would ask you to do is to simply write out what your goals and your objectives are professionally, and then what activities you're involved in on a day-to-day basis. Actually examine that time. So just not just enough to say this is what I do to get there. How much time are you spending on those things? And then so this is the time where working with someone like a professional career coach can be helpful to you if you're unclear of those things, or if you realize that you're not working consistently or you're working hard but not smart. Okay? And then do the exact same thing with whatever the other concept is. So in this question is your personal life. What is your reason for being with this person? What are your long-term goals and your long-term objectives in the relationship? See, ladies, a lot of times we are guilty of entering into a relationship because we like the way a person looks. We like the way this person makes us feel. We like what this person has. But we don't think about our long-term goals and objectives. And that's very important, because if we don't have long-term goals, if we're just in it because it feels good, then the activities that we're involved in may not be beneficial to us, because we are doing things just to do them with no regard to whether or not they're getting us closer or further away from our goal. It's, simply put, it's the woman who is stalking this man and calling him all the time because she likes him, but those activities don't get her closer to him. They get her further away from him. So it's that kind of thing. So I think if you spent some time with those pieces, then it would help you to understand if those elements are complementary to each other, or if they're working against each other, or if one or both of them have you working outside of your purpose. In the best case scenario, every dimension of who we are is complementary and works to our best benefit. But when things are conflicting or fighting or pulling us, then it is stressful. And so I can say certain things because I do know Kiani. I know that I'm not talking to someone who is asking me how she can get her partner to support her professional goals. That was not the question. I want to make sure that people understand that. The question was kind of how do you balance those things and get them on an equal playing field and not one taking more energy than the other. And so that's kind of what I'm responding to. It opens up the door, though, for another conversation that I want to have in a future vlog, and that is on this whole concept of equality, because I do believe in equality, and I do not believe that equality equals same. So equal and the same are not to me the same thing. And so with that said, sometimes we have to spend more time or put more energy into one concept than we do another. And so right now, it may be your time to focus on and develop your professional life. And maybe it's not fair for you to ask yourself to give equal amounts of energy to those two concepts. Maybe that's not possible. And so that's something that I work with my female clients, because ladies, we balance multiple roles all the time. It's kind of, and we're proud of that, and we say that we can do that, and we can. But it's just like a couple of years ago, I wanted to paint my dining room. No, my living room, guys. I wanted to paint my living room, and I painted the living room. I got paint up on the walls. It got done. But I also had paint on the baseboards. I had paint on the carpet. I had paint on the ceiling, because I didn't do a great job of it. I got it done, but I didn't do a great job of it. And so, if quality is important to you, if you care about the outcome and the quality of the work that you do, then sometimes we have to make certain sacrifices in order to focus on one concept, so that then we can then give our all or give more attention to the other concept. So hopefully that was beneficial to you. I want to continue this dialogue, so if you'll respond with your comments, tell me what you agree with and what you don't agree with. Share some of your experiences. If you want to reply via written comment or video, that's cool. Let's continue the dialogue. Thank you so much, Kiani, for posting the first question, and hopefully you have started something, and we'll keep things going. Okay, love you, ladies. Bye.